Hi everybody, this is Dee over at Aloha Astro, and let's take a look at what I wrote yesterday for the new moon, which is occurring in Aquarius at 15 degrees 45 minutes of Aquarius this afternoon at 4:03 p.m. Eastern Time on February the 4th, 2019. So I found this wonderful picture that I feel kind of embodies some of the solemn energy of this new moon. I definitely feel that we're going to be doing more introspection than usual at this new moon, and there's going to be more of a Saturn type of energy than Uranian energy to this Aquarius new moon, even though most of you think of Aquarius and think of change and instability and craziness or things being erratic. Aquarius was traditionally ruled by Saturn, and as such has some influence there of wisdom and the mental introspection and being able to think things through from a logical or a very clear perspective. So this painting I felt was particularly haunting in the way it embodied some of that feeling of wisdom and peace and stillness that comes from going within. And of course the sky is dark except for the glyph for the sign of Aquarius itself up there in the heavens in the stars. It almost feels like there's a little bit of a Piscean influence because we see a trident here, which is, you know, Neptune's, Poseidon's favorite thing to be carrying around. And of course Aquarius is represented by the water bearer, Ganymede, who served the spirits to the gods. So the bearer of wisdom is basically what Aquarius is known for, and also being very future oriented, being able to see out in toward the future. So new moon in Aquarius, Monday, February 4th, turns your mind to changes as the moon and sun join Mercury and form sextiles with Jupiter in Sagittarius and Mars conjunct Uranus in Aries. Embracing change does not require removing everything old, forgetting history, or ignoring the wisdom of your life lessons or your elders. Before Aquarius was associated with the erratic, eccentric, unstable planet Uranus, it belonged to steady, disciplined, reserved Saturn. Venus, Saturn, and Pluto, all in Capricorn, Saturn sign, enhances the serious Saturn nature of this Aquarius new moon. The past and tradition is just as strong as a move toward a new future, while Venus in Capricorn is trine to Mars and Uranus in Aries, and Saturn conjunct Pluto in Capricorn are sextile Neptune in Pisces. Wisdom and genius can merge old and new. These words from the prayer for serenity can be a helpful meditation during the dark of the moon tonight. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So that's what I have written. Let's take a look at Planet Watcher and see how the patterns of the planets look here. We have, as you can see, a lot of focus on Capricorn as much as we have focus on Aquarius and Aries. And with this Aries energy, it's always very initiating, but it does have the energy of change, and it does have that ruling planet of Aquarius joining Mars. So the call to action to produce change feels very individual. It feels as though the self has to do it, not that you would be waiting for somebody else to bring change into your life, but that you would be more inclined to stand up and take an action and move forward on something, even if there's some fear involved. And that square there to Pluto and Saturn, loosely conjunct in Capricorn, can show that there might be something scary about standing up to that strong patriarchal established energy of Capricorn and Saturn in Capricorn especially. So, and anything that frightens you, maybe you need to look at what's scaring you and then find out how big it really is. Approach and communicate while you have supportive energy going on from Mars to the Sun, Moon, and Mercury. Speak your mind. Things can only get better. And if things break apart or fall apart, then at least you know. At least you know that maybe it's not good to maintain or continue if there's misuse of power or control. Maybe it's time to break out, break up, back away, and produce a change where you think of yourself, protect yourself, care for yourself, and be just a little more self-aware, even if others might perceive of you as being a bit selfish. It may be time to go off and be alone and contemplate what it is that you truly desire and which direction do you need to go in, and to tap into that sense of adventure and excitement that the dynamic here with Jupiter, the Moon, Sun, and Mercury, and Mars and Uranus, all in very expansive, adventure-seeking, future-oriented signs. Carve your own way right now. Carve your own path. Follow your own inclinations. Venus has just moved into Capricorn, and it is making a trine to the Aries planets. So put yourself first right now. And I think a lot of times when we do that, the choices that we make for ourselves are going to be better for everybody else around us. Because if we're not being true to ourselves and we're not happy, then how are we going to be somebody that other people want to be with, or other people learn from, or other people can emulate or follow? So you have to figure out what your best situation would be, and then be true to that. The one thing that I've found about Aquarius energy in all the Aquarians I know, if you want to know the absolute truth about something, well, ask an Aquarius. They're not afraid to tell you the truth. Don't come to them with questions like, does this dress make my butt look fat? Because if it does, they're going to tell you, because they sincerely believe that the truth does count and that it's what is expected. So truth seeking and truth speaking are two things that are very strong right now, and you can have the courage of your convictions. You can go out and follow a path that will be supportive of whatever your dreams and desires are. If you step up and apply yourself and do the work, and don't listen too much to the voice that whispers in your ear that tells you that there's something you're not capable of, or you don't have the skills or the experience yet. Well, of course not. How do we get skills and experience? By being a beginner at something. So go ahead and start something after this new moon, and even if it's something entirely different and you feel you don't have the training or the skills necessary, well, learn. Go out and figure out what you need to do to get that experience, but you have to start somewhere. And unless you try and practice, you're not going to get better, and you will always stay small and lose out on the opportunity for growth and expansion, or becoming very good at something if you don't actually put yourself forward and do it. So move ahead. That's the main thing. After you come out of this new moon, get ready to make the changes of the things that need changing for the better, and don't throw away the things that are good, that are working. Spend time in the dark of the new moon to decide which things truly are working for you and which things truly are not. And that will help you to move forward in a detached way toward better things. And if it's better for you, it probably is going to be better for everybody else around you. So be safe. Enjoy your new moon. I'm going to go out after this and play outdoors. Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to go over the Sabian symbol. See, I'm so anxious to get out in the sunshine today. It hasn't been sunny for quite a while, and we have beautiful weather today. But Sabian symbol for 16 degrees of Aquarius, because we round up. A big businessman at his desk. The ability to organize the many aspects of an enterprise involving a large group of human beings. A great deal of what is glowingly written about the Aquarian age is probably sheer glamour. The new age should be one in which man learns to use the power generated by human togetherness and group interplay, that is, to use it harmoniously, for the welfare of the whole of which all individuals are parts, humanity and the planet Earth. This has never been achieved and only very rarely attempted. Mankind today must make a thorough and irresistible attempt or be nearly destroyed, except for a creative remnant of seed persons who would have to begin again from new foundations. In the field of big business, of huge war undertakings like the Normandy landing in World War II, or of major national efforts like the moon landings, great results have been achieved, but the motive and quality of the human interrelationships involved were neither of permanent significance nor invested with a truly harmonic quality. The character of the techniques used were totally unsatisfactory from a human point of view. Nevertheless, there is much to learn from modern large-scale management and systems analysis, even in terms of personal endeavors of very limited scope. Boy, Dane Rudhyar sure knows how to use a lot of words, doesn't he? This is the first stage in the 64th five-fold subcycle. It introduces the concept of management, which is basic at this period of cyclic life process, which the zodiac symbolizes, yet which needs to be totally reevaluated if mankind is to actualize the spiritual potentialities implied in the evolutionary transformation just ahead. Organization should be the key word, rather than mere organization, for humanity now can and should realize that it is indeed an organism. So that is a lot to think about. I feel as though Aquarius always points to the individual as part of the greater whole and being true to the self to benefit the whole, rather than just being the same as everybody else or going along with the status quo. And I think the complication of bringing together a large group is reflected in here, that the reasons or how the bringing together of mankind has not always been what it could be. I don't know if it ever is going to be truly harmonic. I would like to believe that it will be, but we live in a place of polarity. And one thing really struck me in here about the seed persons and a creative remnant. I know many people feel that they are indigo or star seed and that they are here for a specific thing at this point in time. And interestingly, my first picture that I chose to use for the new moon forecast, I will be using tomorrow. And it is about Atlantis. And for some reason, I felt like the energy of this new moon is tapping into Atlantis and the whole Atlantean story of a culture, an age, an advanced civilization that destroyed themselves, basically, or destruction occurred, and they had maybe overdone a good thing, or they had fallen out of a unification and were doing things for not the best reasons, and they were basically scattered after the destruction and planted in other places where there's a remnant of seed people. I don't know what's true about Atlantis and what is not, but I think that there's something archetypical that would resonate in everybody in that story. And I think the bigger message there is that the seed of that harmony or the higher vision resides within everybody. And even if we get down to a point of destruction and having to rebuild or revision, there can still be a coming together and an organization that is going to be growth oriented and start with a new foundation. New undertakings. We live in a cyclical life, and the cycle of the seasons. Sometimes I think we move in spirals more than anything else, and that we do recreate history. Just different time, different place, different people, but a lot of the things are still the same. So Atlantis came through to me very strongly. It will be my picture for tomorrow's forecast. And then when I read this, I kind of got those little goosebumps, because that made me immediately think of Atlantis. So perhaps as you're doing your new moon ritual or focus, do a little research on Atlantis and see if anything in that speaks to you or triggers anything within you, and how you would use that energy, or what does it bring up for you. So now I'm going to get outside and play in that sunshine, and I hope you have the opportunity to do so as well, and that you're getting a little bit of a warming trend in places that have been so horrendously cold. We are now, moving towards spring, and winter is soon going to be left behind. Be safe, everybody, and I will see you next time.